What's up, Recap Kickback family? It's me, Chappell, and I have a special bonus podcast for our listeners this week. Today, we are talking about the most popular topic on the internet, the most trending of trending. We're talking about the legendary Beyonce Knowles, a global icon of music, fashion, and empowerment. With an electrifying stage presence and an unparalleled vocal prowess, Beyonce has captivated audiences worldwide for over 2 decades. As a 32-time Grammy Award-winning artist, she has solidified her status as one of the greatest performers of our time. Beyonce's musical achievements are unmatched by plenty of people. I mean, nobody can touch all the greatness of the queen. Beyonce is a trailblazer for social change, advocating for women's rights and racial equality. From her chart-topping hits to her groundbreaking visual albums, Beyonce's influence transcends boundaries, making her a symbol of strength and inspiration for millions. She's not just a star, she's a phenomenon, constantly redefining the meaning of stardom with each groundbreaking product. And this project here is more than groundbreaking. Although it is touted as a country album, and it very much is, this album establishes itself almost as Beyonce has its own genre of music. And with me to discuss all things Cowboy Carter and Beyonce, a card-carrying member of the Hive with me, to lead our astute panel of Beyonce experts, it's Mari Forth. Mari, what's up?
What's up, Chappell? It's like you said that. It's like, oh, everybody? Like, none of us
Yeah.
knew where you were going there because we were all like,
Listen.
oh, he could be talking about me. Uh, yes, I'm so glad that we have decided to open up the kickback, invite a few more guests, and discuss the queen herself. I am so excited to talk about this, and I'm so excited to hear about the different perspectives on this album. I swear, you go online and everybody has a different thought process about it. So I can't wait.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun time. Now, with Mari, we got a lot to discuss. And yeah, we brought in some heavy hitters for this Beyonce panel. We had to go and make sure that the BeyHive was covered completely. And so starting first with my co-host from the Below Deck Bravo RHAP Up feed. Sasha and I cover this every week on Wednesdays on YouTube. Sasha, we're from Below Deck to Beyonce, Cowboy Carter. Welcome. Welcome to the panel.
Thank you. My first time on Recap Kickback. And of course, it's for the queen. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, this is the perfect time for you to come. Like, we're gonna get you on Recap Kickback eventually, but
Sure.
I think that Beyonce welcomes everybody to the table, you know. And so I had to make sure that we had you on because I saw your tweets, and I'm gonna have a lot of questions about those too. You ready?
Can't wait.
All right, cool. Also with me, the expert of all things Black, bi, and reality TV. It's Nicole Weaver. Nicole, welcome to the Kickback.
Thank you for inviting me. I am so excited, nervous, feeling all the feelings, still digesting this. So I'm very excited to talk to everyone about it.
Of course, great to have you. And finally, last but not least, you cannot have a kingdom without a Pharaoh. We got Pharaoh from the Reality Kingdom podcast. Pharaoh, what's up?
What's up, Chappell? Thank you for having me. It's so sweet to be here. The intro was tea. You were spilling all that tea in that intro. Thank you for that intro for Miss Beyonce. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Look, I know I got to do this right because if I don't, they will come for me, and y'all know who they is. It's y'all.
I was very surprised that you did all that. I'll just say it.
Look, I had to put some effort into the intro because again, this is Beyonce, so it needs to be high caliber. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to make sure that we treat this product right because this is the queen, y'all, the queen of music right now. I would say of all genres. Mari, we have Cowboy Carter here. Beyonce's first foray into a country album. We've seen her do country music before, but this was touted as a country album. What were your initial reactions when you heard that this was going to be a thing?
Just like the thought process. My initial thought was like, I'm intrigued. Like, I am like a military brat that is basically from the north up here in DC. I have absolutely no connection to country music, but it's Beyonce. So I was like, oh, Beyonce's trying country. I guess I'm listening to a country album. You know what I'm saying? So when it was announced that like the Super Bowl and all that stuff, I was like, okay, we're getting into country. And I'm glad that I gave it a listen. I'm glad that like she's like forcing people like me who aren't as, musically inclined to country to actually stop and listen, because I feel like I've learned so much about the genre itself. I feel like I've learned so much about new different artists from this album and stuff like that. So I'm just glad to be here. I'm as somebody who is a total layman to this new genre. I'm like, yep, I have my favorites, I have my least favorites, and I'm just here to listen to the queen.
Okay. And Sasha, you are not from the North. You're from Oklahoma. Are you a country western girly?
I mean, no. My family very much is, right? Like moving from India, I think there's only so many genres my little brain can have while I still kept Bollywood. So, I was like, no, this is not for me. It's sure, but my mom has gotten into line dancing. So she has now become, and she goes to like the senior center in Oklahoma to, anyway, the point is she has now, I think, become a member of the Hive, because she is emailing her teacher to be like, why haven't you dropped the Texas Hold'em line dance? Because my daughter is doing it and I am behind.
Look, the Texas Hold'em line dance, I don't know. Again, I don't want the Hive coming from me, but I have yet to see a good one yet. So you show me the one that we supposed to know as a family, because they good, but I mean, that's not the line dance I'm used to. I'm a little two step to the left, two step to the right, a little spin, and that's it.
Same.
Yeah,
same. And I must say, I went to Nashville a few weeks ago, and granted, under the influence of maybe alcohol, but I did make the whole during our line dance session, I did ask this Black instructor to teach us Texas Hold'em. No, like I was like, this is not, I'm from Oklahoma, and like there are 5 steps, and so you've given me 7 just on one side, and not have to repeat it all. Ain't no way. So they're trying, but it's too complicated, and I'm old, and I don't want to learn a new dance.
Look, I get that. Nicole, Beyonce unveils this whole country western album theme at the Super Bowl as she's sitting there in the crowd with this big country western hair. She got the blonde hair on. Like, she's eating wings, not even paying attention as the world is exploding. Were you in that moment a part of the craziness that was happening online while Beyonce was completely unbothered at the Super Bowl?
Yes, I was. First of all, like, Renaissance was already so big for me. Let me take it back a little further. I feel like I'm more of a recent BeyHive convert. Lemonade did something to me. Like, Lemonade, she was already playing with genres there. I loved the rock that we got. Don't Hurt Yourself but then Daddy Lessons and like her.
Love Daddy Lessons.
And then the video for Formation and how it was so like Louisiana, like both sides of my family has roots in Louisiana. So it just, I don't know, it really called to me in a different kind of way. And I've lived all over. Like, I've also lived in California. So the western part of it also feels like homey, and, so I didn't realize how excited. I'm not even like a country fan, really, but it really does somehow feel like home and going back to your roots. Like, when we get to Louisiana, I was like, don't make me cry. It's been too long for me not being in that state. Like, yeah, that's my brush up on my Beyonce history.
Yes, and speaking of Beyonce history, Pharaoh. Okay, so we have Renaissance as Act 1. Beyonce does a very specific type of music in that Renaissance is an album like nothing she's ever done before. And then she switches to this. How did you feel with country being the Act 2 to Renaissance's Act 1? And, I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but I've been seeing online, people been saying Cowboy Carter greater than Renaissance.
Child, and I might be one of those people. Okay, but let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. So when Renaissance dropped, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't gagged. Didn't gag once. And it was a grower. So now there's no skips on Renaissance. I fully understand all the hype. I get it, y'all ate that up. But in the moment when it dropped, I was almost like, Beyonce, where'd you go? Like, I was almost a little bit taken, there was a disconnect. So me and Beyonce had a disconnect. We had a tiffle in our relationship. And then when this album dropped, I honestly wasn't expecting to fall in love the way that I did. And then when I heard it is when I was like, ooh, she got me. She snatched me right back. And now I really love Renaissance. I really love this album. And to me, this album had like it's weird. If I felt like a special like connection to this album more so than any of her other albums. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I'm from Texas and I grew up in an area where there was a lot of people who did like country music. Maybe that's what it was, but I never liked it. So, well, I had a phase, but it was never a big phase or anything. But yeah, I'm here. I'm happy.
But this brought you back.
They brought me back.
Yeah. Okay. So look, I was watching the Super Bowl like everybody else, and I was thinking, okay, that was a cool little Beyonce commercial. Look at Beyonce doing commercials. And I get on Twitter because I'm paying attention to a football game. I'm not thinking about what actually happened on the commercial. And I just see people like, wait, is Beyonce trying to send us a message? What just happened? Did Beyonce? I'm like, bro, y'all just be watching commercials and stuff like that, trying to find Beyonce Easter eggs and all the commercials. Y'all so crazy. I went on about my business. Boy, was I wrong, Mari. The internet exploded because Beyonce basically announced this album drop in the middle of the most televised event in history, the Super Bowl of this year.
Yeah, she dropped 2 songs, Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages, and also announced a country album in the middle of the biggest game, and nobody paid attention to the second half of the game. I don't care. It was boring to begin with. Nobody cared about either of those teams. So I was like, yes, Beyonce, break that internet. She said like more than 5 words in that commercial. I was already gagging over that. I was gagging at all of the Beyonce we got in the commercial. And then she comes and hits me upside the head with two really good singles. And I was like, dog, you can't. Who is this new Beyonce? She was like signing autographs the other day. I was like, who is this person? Like, I don't.
And letting people touch her, because that one lady hugged her, and I think I almost fell over. Because what do you mean you're now allowing people to touch you?
Right.
Exactly.
And look, even if Beyonce allows people to touch her, I don't think her fans allow people to touch her.
Correct.
Nicole, during that commercial, there's a moment where I think Beyonce like falls on the floor, and I heard a collective gasp around the world, like something had happened. I was like, y'all, she acted. This woman is acted.
Look,
how'd you feel?
I want, and I don't know if this is controversial, but I want Beyonce to go back to acting. Like, I feel that's what I felt during Renaissance. Like, it was a whole vision. I kind of wish the movie dived more into that vision, the meaning behind the robot and everything like that. But like, just how she emoted on that stage, turning into the robot and everything like that. I was just like, and the commercial was just a little dab of that. I was like, I bet you if she was put back into a film, she would kill it. She would kill it.
Yeah. Yeah. They say Act 3 is going to be the musical or something. Maybe Beyonce going for her EGOT. You don't know? You don't think it's musical?
I feel like, I'm hoping it's kind of rock or something. I've been seeing rock lately, or just another genre. So I'm interested to see what she has. She has a lot of tricks up her sleeve, I see. So I'm interested because I was not expecting this.
Yeah, but when you got the first 2 singles, Pharaoh, you get 16 Candles and Texas Hold'em. And these are songs that are like no other Beyonce songs.
Carriages.
Yeah, Carriages. See, again, the Hive don't come
up already.
Listen, that's why I brought y'all here. To correct me. Yeah, to correct me, okay? Look, 16 Carriages, Texas Hold'em, they drop Pharaoh. You hear these songs. This isn't your Beyonce. But do you instantly connect with those songs, or they have to grow on you? How do you feel when you hear these 2?
They instantly connected for me. They did, which was surprising because they were a little different. I kind of, when she announced that it was going to be a country album, I kind of just thought of Daddy Lessons. She did other genres before, so I was like open-minded to it. So when I heard the songs that same day, I was like, ooh, she low-key ate already. And I was actually excited for the rest of the album because they were 2 different vibes. Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages, 2 totally different vibes, but I liked both of them. Like, you can tell I don't know, like, even though it's a genre that she doesn't typically do, she's still excelling in it. And I don't know, that's just mother. Like, she got me. She got me right off, honestly.
Yeah. Mari, so you don't like country western music. You're not familiar with the genre. It's not your thing. Right. You've never connected to it. Beyonce sings it. There's a connection. Why? What is it about Beyonce that made country western music so palatable to you when you heard Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages?
Okay. So I will admit that there have been like, there's that black people slash like country crossover where it's like before he cheats is like on all of our like country life.
Yeah, we do
You know
go
what I'm
up for
saying?
Carrie. We do.
Yes,
We do.
exactly. Kelly Clarkson,
Shania.
whatever.
Yeah, Kelly
Yes.
Clarkson. There's a few.
Yeah, Jolene, actually really one of my favorites. So it's like, so I would never say I've never connected with country. I think the main thing that does actually draw me to country music is the storytelling. I love storytelling in music. Like I love rap that tells a story. Like you're weaving a thread through a song. I love that type of music. And so so Beyonce dropping both Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages, like Texas Hold'em, I was like, okay, this is the dance. This is like immediately people are doing the trying to come up with the line dances. I was like, that's easy to connect to. It gets stuck in your head. 16 Carriages had to grow on me. And like the more I listened to it and the more like I thought about it, I was like, man, this is good. Like it's so good. And so like for me, what brings me to it is her storytelling. And the reason why I think this is one of those albums where it's gonna grow on me no matter what, because again, I'm not used to the genre, but I have to take in all of the things because she's throwing so many things at you in like just one song. And each time you listen to it, you discover something different, either a background vocal or you finally understand a metaphor that she said, or like it's too much. She thinks too much. I don't think you can ever just listen to it once and then be like, okay, I like it or I don't. I really think Beyonce is one of those things you have to listen over and over again before you're like, okay, yeah, I've made up my mind. I think I get it or I don't get it.
Yeah. Beyonce is like the queen of the subliminal messaging, right? Like in her music, you listen to it, you hear one thing, and then someone will write a think piece on Twitter. You start reading, you're like, Beyonce did all of that? It did just all of this, and she did this, and well, what happened?
Yep.
And then who did it? You find yourself in a wormhole. Like Beyonce teaching me so much stuff about this one song, this one genre, this one artist that you didn't even expect to learn. But she's also like that with her marketing. Sasha, a long time ago, we saw the rollout for Renaissance, and in some of the earliest promos for that, I read this in a Time article by Taylor Crumpton. She's a pop music, pop culture and politics writer from Dallas, and she was talking about you could see the country western stuff already in the messaging back then. She's wearing like the frilly like jackets, the leather. Even when she showed up at the Grammys, her look was very country western. How does she do it, Sasha? How does Beyonce keep? She's a master at layering, even in her music, but also when it comes to storytelling and the marketing.
So I think that's the piece, right, that Beyonce creates and new insert whatever that may be, because she is the one that dropped the album out of nowhere and then we were all listening to it, right? Everything she does has now become the moment, and not to be cliche, but her marketing is because she's a force, right? And she's like, I'm always going to keep working and doing the next best thing because Usher just performed. We're on the high from that. And she said, no, actually, it's me. And I am going to now steal that, right? Like, there's always a new way that she's announced an album, if you think about it. So to me, the normal is that nothing is normal. So it's really exciting to study her in that way, I think, because when you look at her marketing, she's like, yeah, I know that technically she could drop an album overnight and it's still going to be ridiculous. But with Renaissance, and we know now, right, that Act 2, the country one, was supposed to be Act 1. That's why the last song, right, goes really well into the next one. So like Amen goes into I'm That Girl. But she decided to flip it. The concert was still country. Like some of the outfits she came out even in San Francisco were country, and a lot of what folks were posting were the silver hats, right, and the fringe, all of those outfits. So I think it's always been a part of it. It's just she was like, oh, America needs Renaissance the party before Renaissance the sad, which again, it's fine. We're here, and I'm a sheep. Everything she puts out, I like. So I don't even care.
Period.
Nicole. Okay, so we see Beyonce obviously playing with the genre of country music. You talked about how "Don't Hurt Yourself" was one of the standouts from Lemonade, and it's obviously Beyonce playing with rock music. Rumor on the street, Act 3, rock. Are you excited for this? How does it make you feel when you hear Beyonce is doing a rock and roll album? Because we know she can rap, we know she can sing, we know she can do country. What does a Beyonce rock album look like?
I mean, I think it's gonna have a bunch of references, right? Like that's what I'm looking forward to, and I'm still thinking of Renaissance and all the people that she name dropped during that. So I think some of them will be in it. I am so excited for I'm picturing 80s, all this eyeliner and stuff, and I think she's so powerful when she projects. I think also her yelling, we hear her kind of screech a little on this album as well, and I love it. I love that she is not afraid to sound a little ugly sometimes, and she's gonna kill it every single time. So yeah, I'm excited to see what else she's going to channel in there. Probably some of the same themes, the opera we get on this. She's murdering the side chick. She's talking to the hangman at the end of the album of how are you okay with death? I kind of envy you now. Talking about musical, this album is low-key musical. I was I can see someone adapting this for Broadway easily. So yeah, I'm just thinking of more of that. And I think it was popularized that she got Jack White on Don't Hurt Yourself because she was oh, I want a band. Mm-hmm. So it's who else did she get in that band? I wonder.
Oh no, those are good questions. Pharaoh, Beyonce is using Act 3 as a way. People have said, I guess, that a lot of these Renaissance to Act 1 and Act 2 have been taking back black genres of music. You know what I'm saying? Reclaiming some of that for us, because Beyonce is known for being an R&B and pop singer, but now really honing in on the history of where these genres come from. Country, of course, as we know, has a lot of black people behind it, literally pioneering the industry, but not getting the clout that they deserve. And now rock and roll as well, And so when you hear Beyonce doing these things, does it make you want to check out these other country artists, these black artists? Because she was putting everybody on this one.
She was on Blackbird. She had I want to say 3 or 4 different features of a lot of country artists. I love that song. And it does make me more interested in what they're doing. Even when I heard about, I don't even remember his name, but I did hear about a black country artist getting more popular a while ago. And I was interested in that. Just hearing that, or just knowing that, people who look like me are doing this type of genre, it makes me more interested. It does. Because you were asking earlier, what makes this Beyonce album, what makes you like this country Beyonce album, but you're not really into country in general. And it's Beyonce's black. If I'm being honest, she's attracting me more to the sound, because I know I relate to her from other stuff, or from the fact that we're both black. So now that she did drop this, and now that she is putting other people on, it's opening me up. It's opening up my ears to kind of look towards that type of music. But I don't know. It's interesting, because another thing with Beyonce that I feel a lot of people complain about, a lot of artists, is that she is not this big. She's so big that it seems like people only listen to Beyonce, and it doesn't seem like people will travel over to these other artists. And I understand that too, because I might, but I also might not. When Beyonce drops, I'm listening regardless. So a part of that is true, but I don't know. I should be more open.
No, that's the impact of her. She gets to she brings the popularity wherever she goes, and it's not for her to make sure that you listen to everybody else, but she does go out of her way to make sure that these other people exist. I saw a spike in the list, in the listeners for these country western artists, the black artists. The Google searches have been out of control as well, Mari. So yeah, I thought that she's doing great work here.
Yes, Brittany Spencer, Tanner Adele, Raina Roberts, and Tiara Kennedy were all on Blackbird. And then Shabuzi was on 2 of her songs, and Willie Jones, I think he produced at least 1. And all of them now are appearing on the Spotify top 200 artists or something like that for the first time ever. And like Chappell said, there was I know there's screenshots going around of like Tanner Adele's like at her like before the feature, like 700K monthly listeners to like 2 million. Like they've all got boost. And I know I've ventured out and listened to some of these other artists and stuff. I've listened to Tanner's Buckle Bunny. I've listened to a little bit of Raina Roberts. Like again, it's kind of funny because we're sitting here from a perspective of like, oh, you know, I never listened to country. This is exposing me to country. But one of my best friends is a diehard country person and is like a half Beyonce fan. And so she's like losing her mind because like this is for those people. These are for the Black country enthusiasts. There's millions of them out there, and I'm glad this is for them as well. But I think the impact is already being felt. She's literally boosting some of these artists, and these artists have, you know, thanked her so much, and they've really like are glad that they're getting the boost, and there's no like animosity or anything about her coming in, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is a shock because Beyonce do be having haters, and it's like not liking Beyonce is not a personality trait. Stop it. You know, I'm not a member of the Hive, but you know, I be listening. You know, and so for me, I was on Twitter like I always am, and I was scrolling, and I see Beyonce's album dropped, and for some reason it didn't click to me that the internet was about to explode. Like it's like I was busy doing something else. Which, Sasha, it feels like a mistake to not realize if someone says Beyonce's album just dropped, there goes the internet for the day. It's all we talking about is Beyonce until further notice.
But that's the thing, right? I think the impact sometimes gets forgotten, which is where these haters show up, right? Where they're like, but where's the album of the year? Right? And there's a lot of, I think, a lot of pressure put onto her. As to like, well, you didn't do enough in X, Y, you know, and insert whatever that may be, right? It could be didn't put enough Black artists. Like, why are Miley Cyrus and Post Malone on here? That 2 more spots could have got blah, 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 whatever. Instead of kind of being like, no, but this is something she put on and here's why she did it. Because for me, I didn't know the history, right, of of country music and how it came from enslaved people, right? And all these haters are showing up now on the timeline being like, it's not a country album, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's so coded. That's where I feel like Beyonce's marketing is so good because she's like, but listen to the song and you'll know what I'm talking about. That's when I think why the internet breaks is because there's so many layers and there's so much depth to it. It isn't just like let's come and speculate and do like conspiracy theories, which I love, but it's like actually, this Levi's jeans, where we're talking about Levi's jeans because no designer was, you know, giving Destiny's Child their time, and Tina and her uncle, right, had to literally sew these kids' outfits together because they were like, oh, you're too Black and country and curvy for us to dress you. So it's just but Levi's jeans were like made them the face of like low rise. So it's crazy because then you start learning more about that, and now you're learning more about designer and all the systemic issues there. So that's why I feel like the internet breaks, because it isn't just like the songs.
Yeah, Pharaoh, you be seeing the haters, huh? Talking about the album of the year, the things Beyonce hasn't done.
They just be talking, and that's the issue, because a lot of the I guess because they talk about her stats too, about the fact that she doesn't have like these amazing 50 million number ones, and Taylor Swift got this many. No, say Taylor Swift loves Taylor Swift, but you know, they compare her to a lot of other people because of these kind of number things. But Beyonce is more than numbers. She doesn't care. She said it in her songs. She's dropped albums not on streaming platforms before. She's dropped albums randomly before. She's dropped house music and country music when she's not known as that type of artist. She genuinely doesn't care. They care more than her. And that's the issue. But I agree with Sasha, because it really is more. She's more than just, I feel, like a singer. She's an artist. She's a creator. She does a lot. And even the name of the album, Cowboy Carter, I saw this history lesson on TikTok. Shout out to TikTok, because they be having a lot of lessons for you. I saw this history lesson on TikTok about just the name and how Cowboy Carter is based off one of the black men who helped pioneer the country music in general, and how these white people who he met along the way kind of took it and kind of ran with it, and they kind of created country music using his influence and using the type of way he played the guitar, just a lot of stuff. And it's like she puts this stuff in her song titles, in her music, in her performances. Like, she's a very smart woman, and I feel like, the haters got to get on her level before they can hate, really.
Look, and they gonna hate every time, which is sad, because you don't see this level of excellence and consistency from any other artist today. Nicole, we're talking about how Beyonce puts on for black people. Obviously, there's all of this stuff is made for black people and with black people in mind. And we even get a reminder from Beyonce about the Chitlin circuit and how those were the only venues that black people were allowed to perform at. So it's the way that she encompasses all of that, takes it and puts it into a song and into an album, and it does become a history lesson, don't you think?
Absolutely. Yeah, I also saw that TikTok about the Carter history, and then the Carter family, and just all the other little references. I'm so grateful for all of that. Yeah, and just all the other people that we are learning through. Rihanna Roberts is also someone who sang on this album in the background on Tyrant. And then I think it's Rihanna Gibbons plays she plays an instrument on one of the other songs, and it's just all these black women that, whether you're noticing it or not, I love it. I think one thing I love about this album and the genre is, like, I love backup singers. Like, it's nice when Beyonce is also layering on top of herself, but I love the art of, like, actually blending different voices together. And yeah, I think the references that we get, like, I didn't know that Willie Nelson, like, started out as, like, on the radio. So that was something else that I learned on this, and just, yeah, all the history that she's bringing into this. Oh, the biggest one, because she has her show like Willie Nelson does on this, the Linda Martell show. I believe she was, like, the first Black woman to be at the Grand Opry, correct?
Yes, the Grand
Got
Opry.
a lot of hate for that, so that was really new. And it's even history lessons to people who are familiar with this genre. My partner Jordan, I currently live in Tennessee, Chattanooga, with them, and they know country really well, and they were actually very upset that they did not know who Linda Martell was. But the beauty of this album is, like, now they do.
Yeah, Linda Martell's only album dropped 54 years ago. And so yeah, shout out to Linda Martell, who, again, Beyonce is has her voice on this very album, and so it's like, it's a history lesson, but also it's a way to really highlight, the black people who've been kind of othered in the genre of country music. Because, not to go back to you, Pharaoh, about these haters, but from what I understand, and I haven't, and like I said, I'll be looking at the Hive through a window. Beyonce performed Daddy's Lesson, and the people were not happy about it. So then Beyonce retaliated with a country album. Is that exactly how this went down?
See, allegedly, it was the CMA Awards or something like that. And she performed it, and they were saying that it wasn't country, which is crazy because it is very much so country. I just feel like they didn't feel, I don't want to get too deep, but I do feel like they didn't feel represented by Beyonce. They didn't feel like Beyonce was someone who could represent country music, which is obviously wrong. And I think Beyonce always wanted to do country anyway. She is from Texas. She's very much so someone who's down to her roots. She's done stuff like this before. And I think them doing that might have sparked something, but also this probably would have came regardless of whether they were mad or not. But she definitely should shut down the haters with this one, because she ate up all their country albums. No shade, but hey.
Okay, so look, we got the history and stuff out of the way. Let's talk about the album. I'm coming to you first, Mari. This is your chance. Cause look, y'all saw my tweets. I'm going up for Bodyguard every time. That's my song. I don't know. Like, I don't know what y'all are doing, but if y'all don't understand, like people said, I've seen the tweets that Bodyguard is like the evolution of Cuff It from the last album. And I'm just saying,
I saw that too. Yeah.
If that's the case, then I'm on the right side of history because
You
that's my
see how
song.
Julian looks? You'd make Bodyguard too.
I'm saying that Bodyguard is one of the songs on here that gives me queer vibes. I'm just gonna say that.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay. Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I thought.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I thought Riverdance was almost like the the handoff from Cuff It. But honestly, like you listen to this album and like every day it's like a new favorite. So instantly just listening to the album, my first go through, I know Blackbird and I know Jolene, and then the added bonus of all of the Black women artists being featured on Blackbird, and then Beyonce doing the twist on Jolene. Of course, I was instantly hooked on that. But I definitely think that Riverdance has me in a chokehold right now, and it just be stuck in my head all day. I just bounce on it, dance like all day at work. So inappropriate, just in my head. But honestly, I think there's so many good songs on this album. But those are the first ones that initially grabbed me. The first walkthrough.
Okay, and Sasha, I think your listen might have been a little later than everybody's because I know you were busy, and so you weren't on the timeline when it first exploded.
Me too, girl. Me too.
Yeah, but then I see you pop out, and you had a lot to say, Sasha. What are your favorite songs on this album?
Listen, I'm on the West Coast, everyone, and I'm a grandma. Yeah, for me, it's also Bodyguard. But then Bodyguard's great, and then you're just like, wow, this is nice. And then Spaghetti came on, and the way my head just like went on like a 360, right? Because I couldn't believe it. I said, where did this come from? What do you mean? So Spaghetti, it was like the one that just like choked me a little. And then I must say, because I think I'm not a Post Malone fan, I think that's why I'm even more like into it. But Levi Jeans, I said, I should not be in the room when these songs are coming on because Levi's Jeans comes on, and then Sweet Honey Bucket. Like, you're just like, what is Jay-Z doing to this woman?
Oh, God.
Because I can't be here. I can't. Yes. Okay, like Drunken Love happened. Right? Like every album, we get it. My God. But it's like, I don't want to be in the room.
Yeah, but that is father. If she's mother, that is father. Nicole, we know you go up for Bodyguard. What are your other standouts on there? Are you a Yaya girl? Is that what was going on?
I do like Yaya. Actually, I know Yaya, like that's a popular one and got people talking, but it was a grower and I think still is for me. So my favorites, just for fun, I love Willie Jones. I play his America's Got Talent audition a lot. That deep, I don't even know, I don't think he hits the deep note that he can hit on this song, but I still loved it. I love when also Beyonce kind of plays with gender, and I feel like we get that a little bit of her being like, I'm the man,
King B.
Yes. And I pray to her, like the little things she drops about like her beliefs and religion is so interesting to me. Another favorite of mine has to be Two Hands to Heaven. It's so, the message is just so beautiful. I want to know what the significance of 16 is. I know she loves 4, but 16 is interestingly part of 16 carriages. And then she also brings up 16 switches in here. And I'm trying to just decipher that.
Double of 4. I mean, not double.
4 times.
What is it? Thank you.
Squared. Yeah, or
Yeah,
something.
four
No, it's not
squared.
Four times
That's
four.
what
It's
I
not 4
meant.
times. Yeah, 4 times 4. Yeah.
Is that
This is not a
truly
math
it?
podcast.
No,
This is
no,
not
no.
a-
I'm
We
just
don't know
saying-
if that's
not a
it, but
math
No.
podcast.
Okay.
No, I just meant like it is
Um,
in the family. That
yeah.
is that's all.
Yeah, I like that. Two Hands to Heaven's also very West. It brings up Arizona and Las Vegas. I was like, okay, Arizona, you got that. Like, I don't think you get that a lot in music. And yeah, those, and then later on, Buckin is
Yes, Buckin's good.
like,
Okay.
I like it.
It's just a sample. Like Buckin is just like a snippet. It's like how on Renaissance she put Pure and Honey together.
Mhm.
So Sweet Honey and Buckin are basically 3 snippets that she put together. And it's like I see why she added it, because it's like it's so good, but I don't think she knew what to do with the rest of it. And it's kind of like I want other artists to like expand on it, like put verses to Buckin, you know. And she's
Especially Bucket.
especially Buckin, yes, because and Beyonce has been doing this since self-titled, since the Beyonce album, where she put Flawless, she put whatchamacallit in front of Flawless,
Partition.
Yeah.
yes, like yes, Beyonce in front of Partition, and then I the one in front of Flawless. So she's been playing with these kind of short samples for a minute now.
Pharaoh.
Yeah.
The first half of the album, because it's a long album. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Look, I was like, this 30-something track. God damn,
And I was tuned in the whole time. Didn't go to
Listen,
sleep, nothing. I was tuned.
She had me in the first half, Pharaoh, and then I had to go to sleep. But I see everybody else did not go to sleep. Do you prefer the first half of the album or the second half? What are your faves?
You know what's crazy? People keep talking about that, and I didn't hear a difference. I felt like I just loved it all. Me personally, I just loved it all. I was vibing. But I do love Bodyguard a lot. And what's interesting about Bodyguard is I heard a lot of like, I don't know, because girl, I'm not a musician, but it felt very almost a little bit rock inspired, because there was like deep bass notes in that song. I loved that about Bodyguard. It was like a twist to kind of just the normal country. And I feel like I like a lot of the songs that have a twist to country instead of just being straight country. But one of the ones I loved is Levi's Jeans. I don't know what it makes me feel, but when I had my country era, it really wasn't a country era. It was a Luke Bryan era. And that song reminds me of a Luke Bryan song, or like just the type of like, just, I don't know if it's text. I don't know what it is, but it was like, oh my God, this is in my heart. Like you reached into my soul and got this rare gem out that I never really expressed. I love Levi's Jeans so much. And I already liked Post Malone. I had fell off on him. I ain't gonna lie. But when I heard that song, I was like, girl, let me get into this last album that he just put out. Whatever he's doing.
Yeah. Posty makes good music. He really does. Pharaoh, I'm surprised you didn't go for Old Louisiana. You heard Zingbot on the chorus, right?
You know what's great? You know what's crazy? I really, girl, Spaghetti and Old Louisiana, they're at the bottom for me. Wasn't for me personally. Wasn't messing with either of them, honestly. I was not. And that's apparently it's a hot take. I didn't know it was, but I was not messing with those songs. I don't know if I got too much into the country, that when it wasn't given so country, I was like, hold on, this is not what I was ready for. But I don't know, I wasn't messing with those.
She was rapping on Spaghetti, Mari. She was rapping.
Yeah, she was rapping, and I kind of agree with Pharaoh. Like, it's kind of funny to me, like when I hear everybody else's favorite songs, I'm like, oh my God, that's a song I like barely kind of paid attention to. Yeah. So now I gotta go and like listen to it. Like even for y'all saying Bodyguard, I was like, I remember Bodyguard, but I don't remember it being this great. Now I gotta go back and listen to it.
With the hit, you gotta go really honey, get into it. Get into it.
Yeah, like yeah.
No, I had a whole dance party at 9 a.m. Like, what am I just by myself?
I think for me, it's kind of like, I originally said, I was like, I think the second half is where it picks up, and that's what I like. But now I'm thinking it's kind of like the first quarter, like the first third. I don't really like the middle, and then the last like third or something like that. That's why I don't know. Like I still gotta listen to it a few more times.
No, this is fun. Beyonce is so smart that she is putting everybody on this album, including Rumi Carter, who she's trying to just get her kids Grammys before they, can write their names, basically. I mean, but she's putting everybody here. We saw Post Malone and Miley Cyrus, as y'all both pointed out, who have had interesting interactions with the Black community, Nicole.
Yes.
Miley was one of the girls that hopped on and hey, I like rap, I can twerk. And she was a spectacle for a while. Post Malone also started off a folk singer, slowly became a rapper, White Iverson, as some people might remember him, and then has pushed away from his rap image and started making music more similar to what we get on the Beyonce album. How do you feel about Beyonce going and getting those artists and making them be white again?
What a question.
Wow.
Miley is interesting. I think, well, when you put it that way, I think what's interesting then about her picking them is that for Beyonce, in a way, this is probably for her feeling like, come back to your roots.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're pulling them to go back to their roots. And honestly, Miley belongs in country. I get it. Her whole family's there. She wants to experiment.
But she don't
with
like
other
her
things.
family.
Yeah. Everyone's free. The whole album is about breaking away from genre. So Miley can do whatever the hell she wants. But Miley, Beyonce is calling and telling you, you're going to do this country song with me. So that should be a sign. So you better
get up and do the country song. Yes.
Yeah. But I also hear and understand people who are disappointed in those choices. But yeah, I think with this actually being a long album, as you say, and her doing all the shouts out that she does, it's like they can have their little 2 songs. It's okay.
Yeah.
And Miley does great. Like, it's a great song. 2 Most Wanted. Like, that one also kind of, I don't know. I'm just so bisexual, guys. I just feel like
you're
it's a little queer.
Vibes. You're like, you're feeling like a little bisexual there.
At the beginning, she says, like, my whole world changed when I looked at you. And I was like,
you looked at me?
In what way?
Yeah. Elaborate.
We're running off together and Bodyguard. She's like, I'm going to protect you in the mosh pit. I'm like, I have a whole bisexual road trip happening. And maybe someone dies. I don't know. But they're running away from the law, too.
Yeah, people were mentioning Thelma and Louise, so I was like, okay, there's a lot of good vibes coming from the collaborations here. One thing I learned on Twitter, Pharaoh, is that Beyonce be putting people on, but sometimes I don't realize how many people don't listen to these other genres and these other people, because I saw a lot of tweets like, oh my God, Miley can really sing. I was like, where y'all been? Miley, been.
And you know what? Miley, I don't think Miley belongs in country. I think Miley belongs in rock. And people were saying, if this next album is rock, I would love to hear Miley on that, because Miley's best album is Plastic Hearts. If y'all ain't listened, go listen now, because she bodies that entire album down. It's crazy. Her voice just fits very well with that. But her voice also fits very well with this. And I think that was a part of Beyonce's thought process. Beyonce is an artist where you're not going to be a feature on my song unless it fits very well. And I think both of these features, they just fit very well. And they're also, people gonna get on me for this, but those 2 artists, in a way, are similar to Beyonce when it comes to artistry, because Miley has had rock albums, country albums, pop albums, hip hop albums, rap albums, and same with Post Malone. Country albums, hip hop albums, rap albums. Like, they're very versatile, similar to her. Post Malone is from Texas, Hannah Montana. Miley Cyrus is from Tennessee. They're both from they're both from country-based states as well. So I don't know. I just think honestly everything worked well. Y'all just gonna have to be mad that they're on there. Like, and I'm not like just jumping out my chair because they're on there, but I just think it fits well. I don't know. I don't see a problem with it because the songs work. I'm sorry, they ate.
Yeah, nah, these songs jam. Pharaoh's wrong about one thing. Miley's best album is Bangers, but Mari.
Okay, I was just about to say that. I didn't want to interrupt him.
Let him live. Let him live. He's wrong about one thing. But yes, no, great album. Like I said, I love the songs. Like I had never heard 16 Carriages. Like I saw the commercial like everybody else, and then I didn't go out and listen to the singles because again, you know, like I was like, I'll get to it. But I was listening, I said, oh, this what y'all been listening to this whole time? This is nice. Okay, I kind of like this. And so, yeah, Beyonce put together an amazing project that people were saying, yeah, there's country western influences on it, but there's so much more as well. So it's another time where Beyonce is redefining a genre of music, redefining artistry, and really paving the way for more stuff like this to happen. Because this is going to be a 3-part act at least, right? Because we assume that, you know, act 3 will be the final act of this. But what do you think is next for Beyonce, Mari? Because if this is the final act, is this the final act, or is this like a pause? What do you think is about to happen to the queen?
Okay, well, you mean the final act after Act 3?
Yeah, like what's she about to do next?
We're not gonna
speak that to
that. No, because if you're a part of the BeyHive, you know you don't try and figure out Beyonce. You let her dictate to you what is happening. Like that's we don't know. We don't know, and that's the beauty. She will tell us, and that's what we're here for. So no, I will not answer your question. I will not think about the queen hanging up her cowboy boots,
her boots and spurs. Yeah,
I would much rather talk about a song that I think nobody's been talking about that I feel needs to be talked about.
Go on.
I do that. Okay,
go ahead. Do your thing.
I love Daughter. The storytelling in that song.
She hates her dad so much.
She does.
She can't stand that man.
She does, what? And it's just so good. The imagery.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think
that's Daughter's the one where
you
gotta really listen. You gotta really listen.
No, she hates him because in Jolene she says I'm the Louisiana whatever. But that's her mom.
Yeah.
It's not about her mom because her dad
it's a tight relationship. Like you can tell she does not like what he has done, but you can tell that she appreciates some of the things that he did. It's just it is a tug of war, and I love Daughter for that. I love all of the imagery that it evokes, and then that's the one that has the opera break. I didn't even realize people were like, "Oh, yo, there's opera on the Beyonce album." I was like, "Where?" And then
that's
like my favorite song.
I she was talking in tongues. I was just like vibing. I was just like,
I had to go on Twitter to find out it was opera. I'm so dumb.
Yeah, I was just like, I just thought she was making her voice sound really nice with the melody.
Yeah.
Like, honestly,
I didn't know either, but that's
a really good song.
That song makes me feel like I'm like on stage. Like she's on stage. Like when I was listening to it, it was like a dark room. She was on stage. And when I found out it was opera influence, I was like, that's what it's at. She's in the opera house. She's really giving it on stage. She's the only person there. She's doing her little vibrato, whatever the words. Like I really like that song too. I like that it was influenced by different genres of music. And I also want to shout out the song. I want to shout out flamenco. Because flamenco has like Latin influence, and that was actually why I was introduced to country music. I grew up in an area where it was a lot of Black people, it was a lot of Latino people, and the Latino people, they listen to country music or country. Even Latino songs are very country sounding sometimes, but they're just in Spanish, and then sometimes they just listen to country music in English as well. And that was why I got into country music in general. And listening to that song, I was like, dang, I'm back in elementary school, middle school, where I hear my friends listening to songs like that. It was so, I don't know, I really like that song. I like the influences that she gets from different genres.
Yes, Nicole, I have to ask, when you heard Daughter, I'm going to say daddy issues, but when you hear Daughter,
exactly.
what from that moment? Because like I said, for me, I was like, oh, she hate him.
I'm blown away by this read, and I did listen to it. I felt like it was a spiritual sequel to Daddy Lessons. I think she's talking about being a fighter. That's what I think she like takes from her dad, and there's a little bit of a ruthlessness there, but that is part of why she's successful. That's why I'm like, I don't think she hates him. I think she just like very much accepts that that's part of him, and there's probably a part of her part of that in her too. the storytelling in this opera is so good. Like, I have beaten up this side chick. I just like picture the side chick in her ripped dress just on the ground
Yep.
as she's sitting here singing this dramatic, like, you all think that I am this pretty little princess, but I am nothing like that. This is what I'm capable of. She loves singing in a different language. Don't forget that Beyonce,
Yeah.
Beyonce has a whole Spanish album, which the Latinos
Yalla
were up
this,
for.
yalla this.
So it is great that she did a little Italian there, which I don't know Italian at all, but I heard some people were impressed.
That up. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that particular aria actually is a very famous one that is taught to like people that you're learning opera. That is like one of the first. It's called Caro Mio Ben, and it's actually sung in like a major key, and it's a happy song. But the word is like, "Baby, without you, I'd be lost." So it's really interesting that she like made it dark and slowed it down, and then people are like, "Oh, but it's not opera." But apparently, it's Baroque, which is a whole nother genre of opera. And that is like known for like all the extra, notes and runs and everything. So even then she's like, you're not doing Baroque if you're not doing all this extra stuff. So the fact that that is what she chooses to do and uses a Baroque opera song to like get her point across, ridiculous.
Speaking of searching stuff up, did y'all know what Requiem was? I didn't know what American Requiem was. I had to look it up, and I still didn't really understood. But I like researched the like lyrics in the song. And first of all, I like that song a lot. There were some people who was hating. My friend was like, "Oh, I don't know what she's doing at this intro." I was like, "She's eating it up at the intro. That's what she's doing." It was very. I really like that song. But it's like, it means more than what I even thought it meant, because she's talking about like taking our power back and like how things were taken away from Black people. And she started off the album with that. Like, that was a hitter. I was like, oh, okay, Queen. But yeah, I did not know that.
I love when she talks about, again, her family history. And my favorite part of American Requiem is grandbaby of a moonshine man, Gadsden, Alabama, got folk down in Galveston, rooted in Louisiana. And for me, it paints the picture of how Black people have moved in history and just we're all spread out in different ways. Yeah, I love it.
Okay. Now look, I'm gonna be a little bit messy, and I don't mean to upset nobody. So tell me if I go too far. I'm not gonna bring up the fact that Beyonce keep collabing with people that Nicki Minaj beefing with. I'm not gonna bring that up. That's not what we're gonna talk about. Wiley, what's good? But I want to know.
She's done a thing with Nicki too. Be serious.
Listen, I'm just saying she didn't jump ship, but whatever. Anyway, here we are. Not to be messy, but I have to ask. We have Cowboy Carter. And I know it's been a short amount of time, but where does Cowboy Carter rank amongst your Beyonce fans? Because Pharaoh, I heard you said it was better than B-Day.
You know what's the gag? Let's just say before Cowboy Carter dropped, my favorite Beyonce album was actually The Gift, which people was like, The Gift. I loved The Gift. That's what was the first thing that really connected me to Beyonce, because Beyonce's a little bit older than me. So when I was growing up, hearing those albums was like hearing them from my parents, my sister, whomever. While when I was an adult, it went Lemonade. That was what I was able, which is a hitter. And then really The Gift and like Homecoming, all of those is the ones that I actually heard myself. And for me, The Gift was the one that really like sat with me really deeply. And Lemonade was great too, but for that one, it's like it just showed me how willing she was to step outside of just herself or just what was the norm and just do something different. So I really, really liked that at first. And now, I don't know, I feel like this gives me similar energy to that. So for me, it's one of those two, which is a very, very hot take. So I'm gonna just be quiet.
Okay, it's top two for Pharaoh. Nicole, Okay. Have you thought about this? I know it's a hard question because Beyonce has a lot of great projects. Where is Cowboy Carter for you?
I don't know.
Cop out. Whoa. You got to get into it.
Okay. I'm really thinking about this because I like.
Talk us through it. We're here for you.
Right. So
Don't make me call you out. I'll call you out.
I think Renaissance is very much going to be near and dear to my heart. I think I listen to that a lot, and yeah, that's gonna be a top. It's gonna be a top for me. Lemonade. Now I'm thinking of Lemonade versus Cowboy Carter. I think Lemonade's still gonna be number 2.
Okay. Nobody fought for you for that one. That's a good take. Whatever.
Yeah. And then we have Cowboy Carter. Cowboy Carter's so
number 3.
Top 3 is great.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got action. Sasha. I love this game. Sasha, is Cowboy Carter your favorite Beyonce album?
It's
She's hell no.
But be serious.
I'm glad you said something else because they was gonna get on us in the comments. They was gonna be like, huh?
I always
Today?
have time. Be serious. Do not come for me. But I think self-titled is so good. And even Pretty Hurts, right? Like it's so underrated. I don't know why people don't talk about it more. But then I also really like I'm Sasha Fierce, obviously because of my name, but I understand why, but it's not like top 5. It's top 5, sorry, but it's not like the top. I don't know. Cowboy Carter is in there, but I don't know. I've been a fan from the start, so it's so hard for something to top Destiny's Child and now her new albums because I was listening to her in India, so I don't know. It's just there's no way that Cowboy Carter is like the top. It's a great album in and itself, but yeah.
Okay, Mari, don't cop out like Sasha did. Give me a real answer.
I'm not gonna cop out. No, but I agree with Sasha. Like as somebody who has been a Beyonce fan from the beginning, it's really hard to put her newest project that's been out for 4 days up against albums that I've grown up with and albums that I remember where I was when I listened to them, albums that I have a nostalgia for. But I would definitely say Lemonade is probably my number 1. I just connect to Lemonade so much. I love the ups and downs of that album that mirrored like her relationship and stuff like that. And then like Sasha said, self-titled, oh my God, self-titled really completely converted me in a sense. Like I was like, Beyonce is on a different level. Like self-titled felt like something that just pushed her into the stratosphere. It didn't feel like a regular album like Sasha Fierce did or Dangerously Loved, or how you want me to get people mad at us, how I think 4 is probably my least favorite album. And so but
that's
like
my line number, so I can never hate it, you know.
I can never turn my back on 4.
So it's like for me, I think Lemonade is number 1. And it's kind of hard for me between self-titled and Renaissance for what is number 2, mostly because I love the growth that Beyonce has on Renaissance. But self-titled really was like a moment in time. So maybe I'll cop out on those and those tie. But then Cowboy Carter is after that. Cowboy Carter's like 4 for me right now, which is like, it's still a Beyonce album and I'm still going to listen to it. So, and who knows what happens after I keep listening to it. But yeah. That's my, and then at the bottom 4.
Okay. Well, for me, I'm gonna rank mine, and I want y'all's real time reactions because I'm about to. Let's just shake a table real quick. So for me, 4
She
is
did
my
do
favorite
Stand
Beyonce
Myself.
album.
Oh, please.
It is.
You're a
Four
crackhead. Like,
has wait, hold on. 4 does not have not one miss. There's not one miss on that album. Do I need to take y'all through the track list of 4? Because y'all playing.
Please.
No,
One
I
plus
literally
one.
have it pulled up.
I
And
care.
you're wrong.
I
I
have it
miss
pulled up
you.
now too.
Best thing I never had. Party, Rather Die Young. She was
We
singing
didn't even
Start
go to
Over,
Cowboy Carter's
Love
track
on
list, and
Top,
you going,
Countdown, End of
Mhm.
Time. I was here. Run, man.
But
say,
it's
y'all
like
stop
you could
playing.
do that for any Beyonce album, and
Yes.
every song gonna be a banger. So it's
Correct.
like you're not really eating me up with this one.
So,
You gotta-
Right.
so why did y'all? So if that's the case, then why y'all shooting down 4 so much? Why you hate 4,
I-
Pharaoh?
I don't hate 4. I just feel
sounds
like,
like it.
for me, 4 is one of her more, average, not average in the quality, but average in maybe the genre. It's a
The
very
artistry.
R&B album.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a very
Mhm.
R&B
Yeah, it's very
album.
R&B.
And if you love R&B, I love that. You know what, Chappell? I ain't gonna knock you. You ate
That's
that.
for me. Can I have that?
Is your favorite album?
It's like,
Yeah.
what's the middle Pokemon between like Charizard and
It's the Charmeleon of the family.
yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's
It
the
is.
unevolved. It's
Yeah,
the
it's like right
unevolved
there.
version of Beyonce. It's right in the middle where you
Beyonce
don't,
without
you
the
don't,
wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, let me save it. That's my number 1. Then Beyonce, the self-titled album, because
Mhm.
that was like Mari said, that was some crazy. I said, this is some crazy shit,
So
man. It's
good.
crazy.
Mhm.
Because I mean, I have that album chopped and screwed, okay? Because I don't play around.
Ooh.
I'm from the Houston,
Period.
Texas, okay? I couldn't wait. DJ Candlestick, shout out to him for the mix. If you don't have it, I'll send you the link, okay? Because it go every time. Then I think I Am Sasha Fierce is the worst album personally, but whatever. I think Cowboy Carter is in like the top 5 or 6, but I always forget The Gift. That's my issue. My toxic trait is that I be forgetting that The Gift is an album because I always think about it as almost like the Lion King soundtrack. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it
Yep.
kind of is. She's
Yep.
not even in some of the songs. I agree that I Am Sasha Fierce is at the bottom for me though. I will say
Yeah.
I do agree with that. It's like you're Sasha Fierce. Congratulations. That's how I feel about that album.
But then let me now read all these. Oh, if I were a boy, you don't like that? Oh, you don't like Halo? You don't
Okay.
And
like
you know what?
That's a lot of
I
people.
actually don't like Halo. Hot take.
You don't like
Oh.
Video Phone?
I love Video
Ego,
Phone.
Single Lady.
I love Ego.
Cute. It's like,
Okay.
I don't like Single
Okay.
Ladies either. Single Ladies
And-
did not gag me when Single Ladies came out.
This is
I
not-
was
How
in
old
my
were
bunk
you in
bed.
Single Ladies?
I-
That's what I was about to say. How old were you
Yeah.
in Single
I
Ladies?
was in my bunk
She was a
bed.
child.
Oh,
It was
God.
like it was one of
Exactly.
those bunk beds where the bottom one turned into a couch. But anyways, so I was on the bunk bed. I think Selena Gomez was just now breaking out from Disney. I was like having a good time in my days. I was.
What
And when
is
Single
the
Ladies
journey?
came out, I was just not gagged. I was like almost annoyed with how it sounded. Like I was not gagging for Single Ladies. So, but she's evolved. She's a totally
Yeah.
different woman than who she was. She was,
Yeah.
Single Ladies
I'm
was
Jay-Z
so
hadn't
good.
cheated. It was a
I was
lot.
like,
It was
yes.
way different back then.
I'm here. I'm showing
Yeah.
up.
I mean, radio is on there, and that's not I was on the hotline like every day. Like okay,
I love
okay, that's cute.
I like
But
it.
anyway,
Oh, great.
You're all
it's
really
cool.
good. I agree.
It's cool. I don't know,
But
y'all, but
that was the college album. I think that was
That
the
maybe
thing.
that's why. Because
It was
what
the
do you
college
mean?
album.
We were literally.
look,
See, we were
everybody
in
got
college,
their own.
Pharaoh.
It's like
we were
everybody got
dancing
their own
to
Beyonce album, I guess. Everybody has that album that really speaks to where you were when you heard it, what part of your life, because we really have heard her kind of grow up in front of the microphone. If you people were there in the beginning, the early days, the pre-Destiny's Child days, who've now seen her go to Destiny's Child. We've seen Destiny's Child with 4 people, 3 people, random people, like we've seen all of that. We've seen her come out of it. She survived the Destiny's Child era, and then she became a phenomenon of herself, and we've watched that growth. And so, yeah, I think that the people who are Destiny's Child fans can really connect to the Destiny's Child music if that was, a time in your life where that was speaking to you, So I think it's always fun to have these conversations because I don't think there's a wrong answer, even though y'all don't seem to be naming Dangerously in Love, but whatever. So
Yeah, that's low for me, actually. That's my.
nobody mentioned it. Nicole, they too hard on Dangerously in Love, or you because you new to the Hive.
I'm new to the Hive, but of course Beyonce has been so present in pop culture. There's just like no escaping. But it was like, yeah, another pop moment. I also, I don't know if you guys were like this, but I kept probably MTV and VH1 on before my bus came. So I just have like distinct memories watching like Ring the Alarm and like Dangerously in Love before hopping on the bus.
Yeah.
So yeah, and a lot of people are saying that her Jolene gives Ring the Alarm vibes.
We talk about the Jolene
I've never heard that
controversy.
before.
We have to talk about the Jolene controversy.
Okay, Mari, what's the controversy? What's going on?
So there are people who are complaining that her version of Jolene is not vulnerable enough. It's not, as like touching as Dolly's original version. They're like, oh, she's almost too buck with it. And I'm like, do y'all know who this woman is? Like, she's not going to give you the original Jolene. It doesn't make sense with the character. It doesn't make sense with the albums that we've seen. And the evolution of knowing what goes on between her and her husband that she let us know through music. Like, I love this version of Jolene. Again, maybe it's because I have legit threatened to cut somebody over my man.
Oh, okay,
Not another woman, just like, somebody who's threatening him. You're like, you threatening him, I'm threatening you. You know what I mean? Like, so
Mari, ride or die for real.
I'm serious. You can literally ask my friends. So it's like I love college was wild, y'all.
That DC jumped right out. Keep going, Mari.
I loved her version of Jolene, and I think it still gives the spirit of the original in a sense. And honestly, I love the twist. I love that it wasn't, because when it was announced, because it was announced before the album, I was like, okay, so I don't know if this is going to be a sample or just a straight up cover. Like, I was really excited to know like what it was going to be. And the fact that it is like a remix cover, I thought was perfect. I thought, like, of course Beyonce would give us like a cover, but also make it her own. And I loved it. I love that version of Jolene. It's immediately going into the rotation of everything.
And
all the playlists.
Dolly Parton has singular writing credits.
Yes, she does.
She does.
Yeah,
She
which
does.
I think is so fascinating with how I feel like younger artists need to learn this, right? Like, what does Dolly Parton have? Like, that's
in her contract.
That's the deals and contracts we need to be signing here, so that we don't get screwed moving forward. Because
and Beyonce
is gonna give you, like she's gonna give you her credit. Don't be wrong, but to not have her name in the credits, wow.
Complete publishing rights. Like, Dolly Parton has complete publishing rights to Beyonce's Jolene. Like, that's amazing.
She eats that up. I hold on, because them comments about Jolene, that's crazy. Honestly, I feel like it reminds me of I feel like a lot of different cultures express their emotions in different ways. And it just reminds me of comments about that, because people kind of like have a lack of sensitivity when it comes to the way Black women express their emotions sometimes. And I feel like this could really just bleed into that, because if Beyonce feels this type of way and you feel like it's not vulnerable because she not crying like Dolly Parton was, it's like, girl, it's a difference in how people were raised, cultural difference. And I just feel like I don't like that they be hating on stuff. It remind me of, this Ariel just looks, her hair isn't red enough. That's what it gave to me, honestly. Like, not you picking. Don't listen to it. Listen to Dolly Parton's. Thank you.
There you go. Nicole, it was a different time when Dolly's Jolene dropped.
It was. I think that everyone has a good tie to Jolene for so many different reasons. The big question is like, well, what does Jolene look like? Because do we see young Dolly Parton? And I think she wrote it about, I remember now, it was a bank teller, right, that was trying to get on her man. So I will say, I think the beginning of Jolene, like, I think it rises. Like, I think it gets better by like the second, because at the very beginning Dolly can do no wrong, but it also gave me real pause when she was like, oh, my girl had auburn hair. I heard yours had different colored hair. And I'm like, that's not what good hair means. It's not a hair.
She said, I heard Joe had that weave, huh? That's it. Okay, Dolly. Y'all gotta remember, Dolly is a lady of a certain age, y'all. It's new time for her.
Yeah, and I think it's okay that sometimes Beyonce is not relatable. Like, I think the line where she's like, I'm a queen, Jolene, I'm like, That's not what I would say when I'm getting into a fight with someone. But what really then gets me is when she says, I'm still a Creole banjie bitch from Louisiana. I was like, tell him, Beyonce, tell him who you are. I love that. And you're a bird, so sing your tune. I love it. She dragged Jolene. She dragged her, and then she sang an opera where she killed her. So it's good storytelling to me.
Yep. Okay. Last spicy question. Okay, this is a spicy one, Mari. I'm coming to you. What is Beyonce's worst song, and why is it Kitty Cat?
Oh, you were.
I almost leaped out my chair.
You want people to come for you. Oh my god.
Everyone at Chappell.
Exactly.
I'm joking. Listen, I don't love it. It's not my fave, but listen, the worst Beyonce song is better than the best of many people's faves. I'm just saying, Mari, there has to be something you don't like.
On this album?
Period.
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
I would say on Cowboy Carter, probably Desert Eagle. Just because I don't get much of it. It's like I think it's not even that long. It feels like a transitional song.
Anybody disagree? Or y'all feel the same way about Desert Eagle?
I don't disagree enough. It's fine. I understand that perspective. I understand that perspective.
Like,
I like it, but I see why you wouldn't like it, honestly. It wasn't nothing too big.
Sasha, I wasn't really big on Alligator Tears.
Yeah. Oh, how dare you? Because that was my answer. Now people are going to say I bit off of you.
That was your answer?
Yeah.
And you know what? I feel like I didn't like. It's gonna sound crazy. The part I liked about Alligator Tears was like the music behind it.
Oh,
like
sure.
The actual,
the
composition. But you
no, because that's why, Pharaoh, when you were speaking, I agree with you, right? Because who am I? But I was like, I really wanted more country. So I don't know. Some of the songs I was just like, eh. And then when some were like really R&B, you're like, okay, at least it's a good Beyonce song. It's fine. I'm with it. But I don't know. For Alligator Tears, I was like, oh, sure. Why? Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Nicole, what about you?
For Alligator Tears, I liked it, but I also had questions because my whole thing is, okay, I felt like she was talking to certain oppressive people with the alligator tears. We've been talking about certain tears being used on us. I love, and I feel like also the line, you say change religion, now I spend Sundays with you. I'm like,
you know,
here I am.
Wait a minute.
I'm here.
Exactly. And baby. The lyrics are talking about these high expectations that other people are putting on her, and she rises every time. One says, you say move a mountain and I'll throw on my boots. Now, we know Beyonce is a capitalist, and that's her way of navigating the oppressive systems. And so it makes sense that that's her response. And she does rise every single time. But I thought that was very interesting. The one thing that I didn't feel like was consistent, at least to my reading of Alligator Tears, was the I adore you. Like the first I adore you, when she talks about the alligator tears, feels sarcastic. Therefore, it's like, ooh, I like that. And she says in her other songs that she's petty, but the next repetition of I adore you actually felt genuine. So I'm like, well, now I'm confused. But if I'm right about the reading, I like it because I like dragging oppressive people.
Very interesting.
That's deep.
Perspective. Yeah. Now I gotta go back and listen to it.
We're
again.
like, damn it, we're back.
I agree.
Yeah. Pharaoh, I need you to drag one of these Beyonce songs. Which one's giving you the least?
Yeah. I said it earlier. Spaghetti. I wasn't gagged. Sorry, guys.
You just
I
wrong,
wasn't
though.
gagged.
You have to go back.
But this is the thing. I wasn't gagged in the sense like of every song on this album. For me, it's at the bottom for now, but I feel like it's gonna shift and go up. I also love every song on this album. Like there were songs on Renaissance I like now, but I didn't like at the time.
Yeah,
There were
I
songs
agree
on.
with you.
There's like no
Yeah.
shade, irrelevant Beyonce songs. There's Beyonce songs you would name it, and I would be like, huh? What album was that? Was that for? So I feel like one of those is probably like the bottom,
Not
but
4 again.
you know,
Kitty Cat wasn't on 4. All right.
no
So that's great. All right. We've done a lot of Beyonce talking, and this has been very fun. We could go on forever. We could literally go album by album and talk about why all the Beyonce things are cool, why it's so great. But Mari, my real question is why she don't want to give y'all any visuals? What's going on?
Oh man, when Nicole was talking about the daughter, I was about to yell, "Give us the visuals!" Like it was her. Like, I know you are the visual. Like I don't know. This is the one thing I do not agree with her, but I just gotta let the queen do what she do. I would love some visuals, Beyonce. We're dying over here, but whatever.
I really think
do
it's
what
because
you do.
of this Act 2, Act 1 like mess. Like I wonder if Amen
Act
was
3.
supposed to flow in to I'm That Girl, and I just feel like there's a lot of confusion moving things around because there were 100 songs recorded for this one. So me thinks that she was like, I'm not worried about this right now.
Maybe that's what it was. And she's mentioned how she's mentioned how she prefers performing, and like she kind of just makes a movie out of her performances. And I feel like that's that's what she loves anyway. She loves to perform. She loves for people to see her perform. So I guess that's where she's putting more of her energy. But the reason I did like The Gift was because of the visual aspect, like the entire movie that I was able to watch, like Black is King. It's like, ooh, that was so amazing. Like she's great at visuals and just everything she does, and that's Mother and that's Queen, and show us something, please.
That's why Lemonade is stand the test the test of time.
That too.
Like, she literally had crews sign NDAs while she was sneaking around making the videos. She must be tired. She must just be tired of us, I guess. But I would love a visual for real, please.
You know, one thing Beyonce is always gonna give y'all a tour, because if she's not gonna take nothing else, she's gonna take your money. Sasha, how many of the Beyonce concerts have you been to?
I believe 4, 5.
So you have stock
money.
Yeah, this is nice.
Oh my god!
So you got stock in the house of Darion, Sasha. That's what I'm hearing.
I should have. No, the problem is I beg she doesn't go on tour into 2024 because I cannot afford. One, I don't want to fight these country people now to get a ticket. That's horrible for me. And then 2, I just paid a lot of money to be 6 hours away from her, and now you're making me do it again. I can't do it. I mean, I will, but I can't.
I just finished my Klarna payments for my Renaissance ticket.
That Afterpay buzzing. Nicole, are you going to go on the inevitable country western tour coming from Cowboy Carter, the Chitlin Circuit tour?
I mean, I hope so. Guys, subscribe to Black by Reality.
We need money.
let me get monetized, please. I want to. I think I will forever regret not going for the Lemonade. Like, I'm not a person actually that goes to a lot of live concerts. It's like on one hand. I did see Renaissance twice though. So I made up for it a little bit, but I should have gone for Lemonade. So yes, I will be going. I just wonder, because I have beef with her because I didn't see All Up in Your Mind, and that's my favorite Renaissance.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know what's not gonna make the cut, and I'm gonna be mad at her again.
Justice for Thick.
Not Justice for Thick.
Yes, Justice for Thick.
It's a bop. Pharaoh, you going on the tour? I know it's coming. It's got to be coming, right?
I don't know, because I've never been to a concert. I think what's going to happen is I'm going to buy a parking ticket, and I'm going to be in the parking lot, and I'm going to listen from a distance, if anything.
There are the hacks, right? You buy them day of, like an hour before.
Yes.
Folks have been getting really cheap tickets, so why not?
Scalper,
Take
it up.
Tripling the price.
Might need to do one of those. We'll see.
Okay.
Resale is cheaper, half the price.
Okay, and so I think that covers everything when it comes to Cowboy Carter. But I do want to go to each of you one last time to give some final words on either Cowboy Carter or just Beyonce and her impact as a whole. Pharaoh, if you would do the honors of going first, tell us why this woman is mother, why she is mom.
Period. Beyonce Knowles-Carter is the queen of music because of this album and every album she's done in the past and every album she'll do in the future. If you haven't listened, I would definitely suggest listening. No matter what genre you like, she ate it up, period.
Okay, Nicole, this is a good one for you. You say you're in the hive now, you're getting comfortable, and she's putting out, I think this is probably the best vocally she's ever sounded. Oh my God, it's so good. How do you feel about Beyonce and where she is right now in her career?
I mean, I'm so happy for her. I think she's just like, she's truly an artist. I think people lining up at the Grammys to like greet her kind of really showed that. I think the lyrics that she has on here, I mean, she talks about not getting Album of the Year in the Sweet Honey, and her whole response to it is like, I'm just gonna make another one and I know I'm gonna kill it. And it is frustrating that we're seeing someone who's at the top of the game still not get Album of the Year, but then also get placated with like, but we're gonna throw every other Grammy at you and you're gonna have the most Grammys, aren't you happy? Yeah, and yeah, I think 16 Carriages also is really about the fear and the work and the tears and being away from her kids. But I feel like in that song, she also says it feels like her responsibility. It feels like a gift she got from God and she sees this as her responsibility. So Chappell, no, I don't think this is going to be the final act. Although I did think in my head, I was like, 3 eggs. What does that mean? I don't think she could ever stop making music. And yeah, just like the opera, the skill. I've gotten shit actually when I went with true BeyHive fans to the Renaissance concert. And I was like, yeah, I was not really like that focused on Beyonce until Lemonade. I just felt
I like the beat. Yeah.
And they were like, excuse me. But I'm like, I'm sorry, but I think it's still a compliment, especially that after the culmination of all of her work in all of those years, I think it only makes sense that more people will be paying attention to this artist who has only just grown. Yes, Beyonce was great during like Destiny's Child and all that, but I like also grown as Beyonce, who is going to remind you who she is over and over again and have no shame.
Oh, well said. Sasha.
Yes.
Cowboy Carter, is this Beyonce's Album of the Year?
I refuse. I don't care. F the Grammys. Okay.
That part.
Sorry. When I get nervous, I get honest, right? As Jason said. But really, the thing is, and I'm not gonna go down that road, but I just have to say it's unfortunate, of course. And these are systems that were never made for us. So I don't subscribe to them validating any of us. All right. Okay, and then don't get me started on why Oscars only likes sad and horrible movies. Okay,
Yeah,
all Indian movies colonized. Shut up. So anyway, the point is, Beyonce is goated. She said it on Tyrant, which again we didn't talk about Tyrant. It's very sad, but she says on Tyrant, "Baby, I'm goated." And I'm glowing. And that's it. That's all we need to know about her. I feel like she has ushered in a new era, but she's always ushering in a new era. She knows she's the moment. And I feel that we need to learn that opulence from her, right? In Renaissance, she goes like opulence and then it changes to Beyonce, right? Over and over. And that is what I always think of is she has always been a beacon for abundance, and that's what we need to bring to our lives constantly. She's always channeling, right, that Oshun energy, and it's just no one was doing maternity shoots before her, right? Like these just weren't things before her, and I feel like people are giving her flowers, but the fact that she's the celebrity to the celebrities, that's all I need to tell you about Beyonce.
Okay, Mari, the comptroller of the BeyHive. What did we miss here talking about Cowboy Carter and Beyonce?
I don't think we missed anything. I think this was a great panel. We talked about the highs, the lows. We spanned her career on accident, kind of. But even better, I think we had a very good look at retrospective about Cowboy Carter and its impact. The fact that it's like broken like the Spotify streaming records for 2024, that we're just 4 days out, and I think it's already double the streams of Renaissance. And it's like first week or something like that. I don't know how streams work. You know, I'm the physical album generation. I still don't understand how all that goes, but she smashed so many records, and at this point it's like, what can't she do? And the fact that she just wants to be an artist and wants to put her music out, and is kind of like the people who get it, and you know, the girls that don't, you know, type thing, is
She ain't no diva.
yeah, it's what I love about her. Yes, exactly. Like, if you don't get it, it's not for you. You know what I'm saying? And it's specifically for certain people. So if you're not those certain people and you don't get it, then that's on you. But if you're, you know, if you want to come in, you want to be an ally, you want to rock with us, we're rocking with you type thing. So, I mean, Beyonce is really just generational. The amount of discussions that this album has produced, not only here with us, but on social media for the past weekend. It was so funny that other stuff was happening. Each time something else would happen during the week, I was like, what are y'all doing? It's Beyonce week. It's Beyonce day. It's Beyonce
Could y'all
weekend.
shut up and let her cook? Yeah.
Be quiet. Yes. There's a few
Pipe
things
down.
I'm like, Lizzo said she quit. I'm like, Lizzo, what?
The girl,
No,
stop.
like, what?
We not
Get on
stop
now.
it.
Like, what is happening right now?
Don't get
Like, it don't make no sense. Like, this is all happening, right? It's Beyonce's weekend right now. So y'all are lucky we're going back to our jobs and not like tearing it down because we listen to Beyonce on the weekend. So I mean, this is great. I'm so glad that we were able to put this together and bring the discussion to the kickback, because I think this is the perfect place for it. And thank you for having me, Chappell. And thank you for letting me just disrupt all your shit. So
no. Right. Well, who are me to stop you from enjoying yourself as a kickback? Because it's for everybody. The kickback is for all of us. So, all right. So that wraps up our conversation about Beyonce and Cowboy Carter. Because honestly, what could I possibly add to all the amazing things that y'all said? Thank y'all all for being here. I have 2 questions for each of you, and I think y'all know where I'm going with one of them, and then one more just to spice things up. Question number 1. Pharaoh, what is your favorite Beyonce song? And question number 2, tell the people where they can find you.
Oh, dang. Why you hit me with this heavy question for the end? Because what
number
is my favorite
one,
Beyonce
first
song?
and foremost, yeah, what is your favorite Beyonce song? You have to pick one.
Period.
We will not end the
God.
podcast until you pick one song.
Oh, give me 1 second, please.
I will turn this car around. We will start over.
You might need to skip me. What?
Okay, we'll come back. Anybody ready to make their Nicole? What's that face, Nicole?
I'll go. Let me go. It's okay.
Okay, Mari, what's your favorite Beyonce song?
Formation is forever and will be my theme song. So I gotta go with Formation, and you can find me on Twitter at Mari Talks Too Much. That's 2, like the number 2. You can also find me on the Wrestling RHAP Up by going to raphasaWebsite.com/wrestling feed. You can also find me over on the Crime Scene True Crime Podcast by going to raphasaWebsite.com/crime feed.
All right. Sasha?
I'll go next. Okay. I think mine is Pretty Hurts. I went back and forth on a lot of them, but I think Pretty Hurts is the one that just, I think time and place, it's beautiful when I first heard it. So it's Pretty Hurts. And you can find me on Twitter at funsize_04. And I work for a Black and Brown women-led nonprofit where we are now hosting our second pop-up for Black and Brown women, where it's to rejuvenate, replenish, y'all talking about boundary setting and what does it mean to invite good energy into your systems and bucking the systems that don't serve us anymore. So it is completely free on April 7th at 4 p.m. Eastern online. So if you are excited and want to join and learn more, just sign up at tinyurl.com/dimensionspop-up2, the number 2.
All right. Thank you, Sasha. Now, to our esteemed, like these I'm so happy, okay? Because like Sasha and Mari, they're my co-hosts in a lot of different forms. And so they're very, I know they're gonna come through for me. But thank you so much, my special guests, Nicole and Pharaoh. But it's about time to pay the piper. Nicole, it's on you. What is your favorite Beyonce song? And tell the people what you're up to.
I choose by chaos. If I were a boy. I'm sorry. Like, I just, when Beyonce gives like mask at any time, I'm just like, what is this? It's also like I have that same feeling about Sierra's Ride. I'm just like, that music video. Okay. But yeah. I also listen to Don't Hurt Yourself a lot, though. I know I can't pick two, but
you pick one. Pick one.
All right, so plugs now. Okay, so I'm Nicole Weaver. I write for Collider about reality TV. So if you're into that, check that out. But also, I have a podcast called Black by Reality. We talk about reality television through a Black queer lens. Right now, we're talking about Survivor, and I'm continuously have new people from Couple to Throuble because I am obsessed. Mari was on the first episode talking about that, and I appreciate it. That was so fun.
Thank you, Nicole. And I think I will be joining you soon to talk about Survivor. So that's going to be a great time. All right, Pharaoh. I'm saving the best for last here. You've taken your time. You've gotten it together. You got your thoughts together. What is your favorite Beyonce song, and why is it Me, Myself, and I?
That's a good one, but I'm gonna decide on. I'm gonna choose Love Drought. Okay. I really do rock with that one. So I'm gonna choose Love Drought. I'm gonna settle on that. It might change tomorrow. I don't know. But you guys can find me on the social medias at T Reality Kingdom anywhere, or my YouTube channel, The Reality Kingdom. We talk all things reality TV or whatever, period. So check us out there. We're currently covering Survivor, Big Brother, The Challenge, stuff like that. So if you're into that, check us out. Thank you. And thanks, Chappell, for having me. It was so great. And Mari.
Thank y'all for coming at such a short notice, because I legit was like, Mari, what do you think? And Mari's like, yes. I was like, okay, I got to send out I got to beg people in their DM. So we're going to make this happen. But yeah, thank you all for listening. Thank y'all for coming. Thank you. Please subscribe to these amazing people's channels. Black by Reality, The Reality Kingdom, of course. Of course, you can catch Sasha and I talking about Below Deck on the Bravo Wrap Ups feed. You can catch Sasha talking about love and hip hop as well with Bryce on the Purple Pants podcast. Mari talking about wrestling. Mari talking with me on the Kickback. And then, of course, I'm doing Netflix coverage. Nothing but Netflix every week with Josh Wiggler and I talking about 3 Body Problem most recently with our guest Christian Hubicki. We talked about the whole season. Check that out. Rob and I are talking about Survivor as well on Club Condo, our goofy Survivor podcast that we have every Monday. So that's been a good time. I still have Abbott Elementary coverage here on Recap Kickback and some other things coming your way as well. Again, I don't have to reiterate myself, but Me, Myself, and I is Beyonce's best song, and it's not even close. But thank everybody for being here. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for supporting the BeyHive in their endeavors, because we are all terrified of them and would never say anything bad about Beyonce. Until next time, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. Peace out, and we'll talk to you all later. Bye.
Bye.